And I guess what is Vlogmas?
Pearl's just at her treat. And Dennis is trying to get her to calm down.
Happy Vlogmas, day 17. I got up, Dennis brought me tea. You may see some video of me drinking tea, or maybe my hair is too wacky and I don't put that on here. But so, happy Vlogmas. This is Barbara. While we were drinking our tea, we could hear Pearl down here doing things. We kept yelling her name, and she'd come up, and then she'd go down. I'm going to be complaining about my dog on every episode. She took Dennis's passport down into the yard. She chewed up a corner of it. Now we're trying to figure out how damaged a passport can be and still be usable. Because we have a trip planned in May. We were going to send, the passport was out because we were going to send it out to get a visa. Oh, you can turn that off. Thank you, sweetie. So anyway, that's how our day started. And I mean, the only reason I found it in the yard was because she had taken one of my project bags out in the yard too. But that's not the worst part, because she didn't hurt the project bag and, you know, passport. I'm glad it wasn't mine. Am I terrible? I didn't want to deal with it. Not that I'm not going to be dealing with it. I will be. I'm opening my Advent. This is the one from Megan. Meraki Studio, a New Zealand dyer. Oh, that's beautiful. Meraki Studio. Oh, lovely pastel speckles. How fun. Thank you. And day 17 from Susan is gift. I do like a gift day, I will admit. I have no idea what this is. I have to admit, it's a little turtle. It's a little turtle, and it's full of holes, and it's got a hole in its butt. I wonder if you put this on the end of a knitting needle to keep the stitches from coming out. I bet you that's what this is. Susan, what is this? Tiny little turtle. Tiny little turtle butt. I bet you that's what that is. I'm going to get my needles out and check it, and I'll let you know. Put it somewhere where Pearl won't eat it before I get a chance to check. Anyway, enough about the complaining about Pearl. So Dennis is going to have a crummy day till he figures out if his passport is still good or not. It's not very chewed. It's just a little wrinkly. We have it between some heavy books to straighten it out. And I think it's going to be fine. It's just a few bite marks on the corner. So, but it's a little worrying if you don't know, and we don't know where to go to have somebody just official look at it and say, yeah, this is fine. You can still do your stuff. So Dennis brought me my tea in my Angus mug, and so I'm having it for my coffee too. I don't usually put my coffee in this because I don't think it's quite big enough, but I didn't put quite as much water. I don't know if you can see the Angus. This is a Jamie Wyeth painting that we really like that's in the Brandywine River Museum, which is a museum relatively local to us down in southern Chester County. And the Wyeths are the big art names in Chester County that I've heard of. There are probably many other big art names from Chester County that I am not aware of that they're from Chester County. Anyway, it's a Monday. I woke up with kind of a sinusy thing, but after drinking my tea and sitting up and taking a shower, it doesn't feel so bad. So I'm hoping it's not turning into anything. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do today. rattling around an idea to do a podcast, but that means I got to go watch my last podcast to see what I talked about in my podcast, because when you record every day, it's hard to remember what you said in your podcast. So I need to remind myself what I talked about. I know Dennis found the hat that I didn't have to talk about last time, so I have a few finished objects to talk about. I know that. But in terms of general stuff, I'm not sure. So I will review that before I do my podcast. I'm planning on having lunch with my sister-in-law one day this week. I'm not sure which day, probably tomorrow, but we shall see. If I'm going to do Christmas cards, I need to do them today, because otherwise they're not going to have a chance of getting there before Christmas. And the other thing I have to do this week is I have to make more bath bombs, because I need bath bombs for Christy's Christmas present. And we're going to my parents this weekend to celebrate Christmas with my family. And I want to make little packages of bath bombs and lip balm for my mother and my sister-in-law and my 2 lovely nieces. So I'm not sure how the Vlogmases are going to go. I think I might have to miss 2 Vlogmases because I won't have any way to edit my videos from my parents' house. Although I could just do a little 1-take Vlogmas with an introduction, and it won't have any graphics, and it'll have all the coughs. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. But I am going to be leaving for my parents on Saturday and coming home at the crack of dawn on Monday, because Monday's Christmas Eve, and we have to pick Pearl up by noon. She'll be at camp for a couple days. So that's what I have to do this week, bath bombs. And knitting. I ended up knitting on my socks last night while I was sitting, because I guess I wasn't ready to start the body of Isabel's sweater, but I do have her pocket liners done, and I will be working on her sweater today, and you might see that along the way. Meanwhile, we'll do a little research on how damaged can a passport be. I'll soon be taking Pearl for a walk. It is not raining today. It's looking not terribly bad out there. A little bit of blue in the sky. It's not super cold, I don't think. So we will be having our walk soon and then proceed with the day. So we'll see how it goes.
Dennis has decided that he'll feel more comfortable getting a new passport. It's not clear whether he needs one or not, but better safe than sorry. So we've gone through our box of important papers and actually cleaned it out, and that was nice. But Pearl is not the first dog we've had that has chewed on things, as you can see. We might want to think about getting something a little safer, a little less raggedy for our very important papers. Right, Pearl? Here are my elves on top of my TV with my cool spring guy my daughter gave me. These are not all the elves that I have made this Advent season. These are just the ones that I still have. I gave 5 away. So I have made 11. No, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If I could add. I'm really happy with how they turned out, and I'm going to keep making. Since I have straightened up my room because the cleaners were coming, I do have 1 bag of stuff that I need to deal with on my dresser. But here's my room, such as it is, not fancy, but not really messy except for that tissue. So in the past, I have kept my dirty socks and my dirty bras on, well, my used bras. Good morning. On my dresser, I decided it was time to get a hamper. We replaced our hamper. We had an old broken plastic hamper that we'd been using for 27 years and got a new one at Bed Bath & Beyond. And then I went back and I bought one for this side of the room which holds my hand knits. This hamper is almost full. So today's the day we're going to do some laundry. I'm going to wash my socks, and I have a sweater in here that I want to wash. This is the sweater that needs to be washed. I've been wearing it. It's an Isabel Kramer design, which I cannot remember the name of it, but it's got this nice detail in the front. And it's a sport weight. I think it's Malabrigo Sport that I knit for my birthday last year. The pattern was a gift from Stephanie. Thank you, Stephanie. And for my birthday, and I want to wear it for Christmas. It's not very Christmas colory, but it's lovely, and I want to wear it. So I'm going to wash that now too. So we'll let these soak for a good long time. Take Pearl for her WALK, and then I'll spin them in the washing machine so that I don't have to stand them on them all inside of a towel. It'll work great. And then I'll soak the sweater. Okay, we're on our walk. Pearl was just the first time she's ever done that. She jumped out of the car before I had her leash, and she ran up to this little dog that she saw. Was kind of a Chihuahua-y dog. It was cute. Luckily, the owner was not a nervous dog owner. A lot of times, people who have very small dogs are afraid of big dogs, but she said she had shepherds when she was a kid, and she understood. So, Pearl got to meet another dog, although... So, it's a pretty day. Cloudy, I guess, but a little bit of blue here and there. And so we're on a nice walk. Podcast, and I'm having my breakfast. I'm having eggnog, and I didn't mention last time, this is Dennis's homemade eggnog. It does not have any alcohol in it. I'm not having rum or brandy or whatever goes in eggnog. It's just eggnog. It's not just eggnog. It's gorgeous eggnog, but there's no alcohol. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to knit, and I think I'm going to put my audiobook on and relax, maybe start on Isabel's sweater and see what happens. And I have vowed to not complain about Pearl again on this Vlogmas, I promise. Pearl waiting patiently for me to feed her dinner, so I will do that, and I'll show you what this dog eats. This dog should be grateful. All right, this is Pearl's supper. It has 3 chicken thighs, an egg yolk, a burger patty. It's not usually a patty, but that's all we had, and liver. And now I'm putting the stinky fish oil, which is like the super sauce. This is salmon oil for dogs. So you, my friend, oh, she left. She set it for the door. She's the luckiest dog. Oh, Dennis is going to take it out for me. Thanks, sweetie. So that's what our dog eats. And she does those things to us. Right. She loves her suppers, but, you know, I do realize that half the world eats worse than she does. But that's what she gets for supper once a day. And so it's time for me to start editing and say goodnight and say happy Vlogmas, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Happy crafting.